If you are manually doing repetitive tasks in your business, copying data between apps, sending follow-up emails, generating reports, you're wasting hours every week. n8n is a workflow automation tool that can do all of this for you. And with AI integration, it gets even more powerful. Hi, this is Aryan from Agile Automate, and in the next 12 to 15 minutes, I'm going to show you what n8n actually is and why it matters. Second, the core concepts you must understand about n8n. Third, how to build a simple automation workflow. And fourth, how to add AI to make it even more and more intelligent. So, by the end of this video, you'll be able to automate your first workflow. So, are you ready? Let's go. n8n is an open source workflow automation platform. Think of it as the backend of your business operations, connecting all your tools together and making them work automatically. So why n8n specifically? First, it's an open source. You own your data, you can self-host it, no vendor login. Second, it has over 400 integrations like Google Sheets, Slack, databases, CRMs, AI models. If you use it, n8n probably connects to it. Third, and this is really important, native AI integrations. So you can add intelligence to any workflow without writing any kind of complex code. So what can you build with n8n? The answer is almost any kind of automation, like simple to complex, basic automation, complex AI agent, almost everything. So let's take few examples. Automated data syncing between tools, lead response systems that run like 24/7, content generation and publishing workflows, customer onboarding automation, report generation from like multiple sources, AI powered email assistants, and literally thousands of other use cases. So the way it works is simple. You connect nodes on a visual canvas to build workflows. No coding required for basic automations, but you can add code when you need custom logic. So let me show you the interface to help you understand the basic and core concepts of n8n.
So we are going to talk about the basics of creating the AI workflows or automation workflows in n8n. So let's start with very basics. Let's start with the foundations through which all these workflows are created. So let's go to the nodes. Okay. So these nodes are something which acts as a fundamental to creating any kind of workflow. At the left, you can see these are all nodes only. I'm going to explain this particular workflow so that you can understand and create your own workflow in n8n. Okay, so I'm not going to start from the very basic how to set up n8n, how to basically host it and everything. Those particular things I'm not going to cover in this particular video. I'm just going to start with the foundations through which you can create the workflow. So these are the kinds of nodes which are already there. So the very first is the trigger node. Okay, so the trigger nodes, it can be a manual trigger, like you just click on it or you just simply execute workflow and then it will start. The whole workflow will start. Okay, then there is on a event, then on a schedule. I think you can see at the left. So it is scheduled. So you can schedule it for a particular time or like after a particular interval. This schedule trigger helps you to manage the start of the workflow on a time basis. Okay, so this is the schedule trigger. Then there is webhook call. If there is any app through which we are getting a trigger, then we can use webhook. Then there's on form submission and different kinds of trigger on chat message. So basically this helps to, so this trigger node helps to basically start the workflow. So the next one is we can say the action in the app. So these are the different kinds of app that is there in n8n. So there are different actions within these apps. Let me show you so that you can understand. Okay, so let's say we are taking very simple Google Sheets. So if you can see here, this contains different kinds of actions that is possible within Google Sheet. Okay, so you can create the spreadsheet, you can delete the spreadsheet, you can add a row, you can update a row. There are different things we can do. You can get a particular data from there, you can update a particular data in the Google Sheet. So there are different things and there are different actions that is possible within Google Sheet. So the same is for different apps that is there. At the left, you can see RSS feed or maybe the Gmail, right? So Gmail we have used to send message right here, but if you see in Gmail, you can see like how many actions are there. Total 26 actions that are possible within Gmail. So this is like really cool. These actions, what you can do is you can interact with different elements, different actions or events that are possible within that app through n8n. Okay, so the next one is let's say data transformation. So in data transformation, what happens is that you can basically change the data into something else. For example, the code node we have used here also. At the left in the workflow, you can see that we are preparing structured email through the code node here, or getting the top 10. In this particular, we're getting the top 10 news here. So basically, we can write the code within this node. Then you can transform it into something else. Same for edit fields. Edit fields is used a lot. You can set a particular, for example, let's say our length of the string is 10, right? And you want to change it to let's say 15. So you can change it. Okay, so you can but for example, you want to set a particular variable. Let's say the address, right? Address for a particular name. Okay, so you can simply put it here. I'm just showing you so that you can understand. Let's say you can simply put here address. Okay, so it will be set. If you're simply putting it here, if you can see here, see the address, this one is set, right? Obviously, there are a lot of other things that you can do within edit fields, but we're not going to go very deep into it. So data transformation nodes are nodes which helps to basically transform the data into something else. Okay, so there are different parts to it, but I have told you about code node, the edit fields, then there is obviously this filter, so you can filter according to a particular condition. You can split out, for example, there is let's say an array, you can split it into different basically elements, and then you can use it separately. Aggregate is just opposite of that. Then merging of two branches, summarize. So there are different ways to convert the data according to your need and according to the requirement. So this is data transformation node. Then there is flow node. So data transformation work on the node basis, but flow works on branches. Okay, so for example, if there is a particular condition, you go to branch A, otherwise you go to branch B. Merge is merging over two branch. Then switch is like if there are multiple conditions, so it will go in multiple branches. So here also there are multiple things that is there, and you can use these nodes according to your requirement. So this is flow. Then there are few core nodes. Yeah, so there are few nodes that are different subcategories, but you use it according to your requirement. Okay, so HTTP request, obviously if you want to send a request to some other application and they are not here within n8n, so you can send the request through this node. Webhook, I've already told you about it, and then obviously there are other things also. So these are the core nodes which are there within n8n. You can use it according to your conditions and according to the requirement which you have in the work. Then there is one important node that is human in the loop. So human in the loop, what it does is basically it helps humans to be within the workflow. For example, there is like 10 nodes over in the workflow, and you want the human to be, let's say, the sixth node, so that that person gives the approval, only then it goes to the next node. So that in that way it can help. So yeah, I think we've covered a lot from here, and obviously there are AI nodes also that is there, AI agent. Then there are different models also which are there. So these are like a little complex. We'll be using these nodes and will help you to understand these nodes separately in different videos. I will be coming soon in the future. So these are the different AI nodes which are there.
So these are the main node categories. Now let's build two real workflows to see how all this works. First, a simple automation with no AI. Then we will build it with AI to see the difference.
Now that we have understood the nodes, that is the fundamentals, let's see an automation workflow. So what this automation workflow does is that it sends an email daily in the morning 8 a.m. Which contains the top 10 news which is relevant for me to read. So that's why we have the schedule trigger over here. Let's do one thing, because it will be triggered every morning at 8 a.m. or a particular time. Let's see the execution which happened recently at November 2012 only. Okay, so that you can understand what happened and like how does the data flow over here. Okay, so in the morning 8 a.m. So in the morning I think it was for 12:30, so it is showing that. Okay, so here in the code node, the 10 URLs it has. Okay, so the URLs is very important ultimately. It is simply the list of the URLs which is relevant for me, and so this contains these URLs will direct you towards my feed for, let's say, business systems. So this URL will take you there. Okay, so this has ultimately 7 or 8 URLs. Okay, 9 URLs basically. So what does RSS read to? So your URLs will go one by one to the RSS read, and it will read that URL and bring in the news from there. So ultimately what is happening is these 9 URLs are ultimately bringing 198 news over here. Okay, let's see over here. Okay, so this is the input. So this is schema, table, or JSON. So these are different formats for the same data. Here it has the URL, the table has the list of the URLs, then the JSON. It will ultimately bring you the news. Okay, so these are the 198 news. URL will read the news and it will put it over here. Okay, so the output also contains the same format, right? Schema, table, and JSON. And now we have the 198 news over here. Okay, so it will then send it to here. We have the code to extract top 10 news from these 198 news. This is like the whole code is written by Claude only. We have just given it that these are the relevant things for us, and it has given us the code for that. So according to that code, okay, so this is the whole code of the JavaScript, and it will extract the top 10 news out of these 198 news. From this 10 news would be put in a structured way in the HTML format through this code node. So if you see over here, okay, so this is ultimately changing these top 10 news into a structured format in a HTML form. You can see over here. Okay, so this is all the HTML, because the email can read. If you want to send a very good structured and beautiful email, you have to put it in an HTML format. So that's what we are doing. So here, if you see in the input, we are getting the top 10 news. If you see over here, and ultimately what is happening is at the output, you can see we are getting the HTML. Okay, with these top 10 news. Okay, this is HTML text and the subject. Okay, this is all we are getting through this code. Okay, so getting the top 10 news, then it ultimately changing into HTML, and this HTML is fed into the email. If you see over here, this HTML is getting fed over the message. Okay, and then this message is getting sent to a particular email, which is my email. Okay, so every morning at 8 a.m. I receive this particular email. So this is the email, as we were saying, right? If you see over here, and one more thing I want to just touch upon is that these are the logs. Okay, so ultimately when you run a particular thing, it shows what is happening. For example, if there are multiple branches, you can see which node is running at what particular time at what particular order. So in this, you can see this is the output we got to get URLs. In this, you can see this is the output we got through RSS feed. Then, and you can see the input as well from here. So this will help you to debug the whole. As you debug in the code, you can debug it this particular flow through the logs and then this input and output window. And the same thing shows in the editor also. So now let me show you the email which we are getting. So this is the email we are getting. Okay, so this is like your daily business automation digest, and so these are top 10. Building AI flow with n8n, automate real world tasks with AI agents, and you can see this is the link. We can simply click over here and we can see the particular article if you want. Okay, so these are top 10. Make AI agents the future of agentic automations. ClickUp 4.0. Low-code tool and bridges gap between AI models and business. Workflow automation platform received a $180 million funding round. So these are top 10 news which I'm concerned about. So that's why I'm receiving. And once I'm done with this news, at least I will be at the top of whatever I do. Okay, top of the things what I do. Okay, so this helps me a lot in a way. Yeah. So I think you might have understood how does this work, right?
So this was traditional automation. Fixed steps, predictable outcome. No intelligence, no decisions, just execute A, B, and then C. But what if we want it to be smart? That's where AI Notes comes in. Now let me show you an AI powered workflow so that you can understand more and better.
So the previous workflow was a normal automation traditional workflow. Okay, so it will go step by step. There's nothing. So everything is already fixed. What will happen? Okay, but let's say for a particular workflow you actually don't know what kind of input that will be there. For example, in this is an email AI workflow. It's a very simple workflow that we have built for creating draft for the important emails that I receive. So in this, the email can be anything. Okay, it has to so you can maybe code for a particular thing that this kind of email will go from here, will be important. Ultimately, to draft the reply, you can't put it into a fixed set of words, right? For that, we are using AI node here, that is the Claude node over here. So what happens is, for a particular important email, it will create the draft reply. Then that draft reply would be put in the drafts part of the email. Okay, that is what it is ultimately. Okay, so I will execute this workflow so that you can see one by one like what is happening. So just let me do it. Okay, so I've executed this workflow. So this is a manual trigger. Okay, then it is getting the emails from my email ID. So it is through my inbox. It has basically taken in 19 emails. Okay, and then that is particularly converted into one particular set. This particular, I will just show you like what is happening. Okay, so we are ultimately getting 19 emails if you see over here. Okay, and only few of them would be important, right? What is happening is, in this particular code, so these 19 emails are going over here, but ultimately what is happening is this particular code node, what it is ultimately doing is this is particularly changing it into a format so that it can be, for example, if we are trying to put all these emails in a particular format, that is number one, which is important. That particular format should be able to understand by the AI node over that is there, right? It is the Claude node, right? So that's why we are generating the prompt over here, putting this data over here. If you see here, email ID, reply, subject, draft reply. So all this is being put over in a particular prompt because all these 19 items has to go to this particular prompt and it has to understand also. Okay, so it is particularly putting it into a particular set. Okay, and let me just show you. So this is the prompt, and this prompt contains everything. If you see over here, all these emails are basically put into the prompts so that this Claude node, this should be able to understand what is happening. So let me show you like what is happening. So we are simply putting it over here prompt, which is getting generated through the code node, right? So ultimately you see what is the output. Okay, so you are an email system review these 19 emails. So this 19 is coming from code node, and then all these emails are also we are getting through code node only. This code node is ultimately basically putting all the emails and all the information into a single prompt. Okay, so that is what is happening. Okay, so it will read through all this. Okay, and after this it will basically select top 3 of the emails and then draft the reply for that. That's what is happening. And after this, these 3 emails are generated. When it needs a reply, okay, decide if it needs a reply, draft a professional concise reply, 2 to 3 paragraphs. Okay, so for the replies that it thinks that it is important, it is generating the reply for that. Okay, after this it is ultimately basically sending it to a code node, which is converting so these are the 3 emails, right? It is ultimately changing it into a format Gmail can understand, it can send it. Okay, so it also has to be sent in the best way possible, right? So it is basically parsing this AI response for the email. Okay, so that this is also a code node only, and it is converting into that format. Okay, filter and format for the Gmail. So that is what it is happening. One thing I want to tell you again is that all this code is written by Claude only. We have not written any code over here. We simply put in what do we need and it has given us the code for that. And then ultimately we are sending the email. Okay, we are sending all these 3 emails. So all these things. So ultimately what is happening? We don't have to do anything. It will read the emails, and according to our input it knows what is important and it will draft the reply for us. So ultimately it is not sending it will save it in the form of a draft and then we can send it from there.
So let's compare what we built. First was RSS workflow with no AI node. So it had fixed logic, same output every time. You define every step explicitly. So these are like fast and predictable. These kind of workflows are good for data syncing, scheduled tasks, simple automations. Then came email workflow. It had a AI node, so it was a AI workflow. So these are like dynamic logic. It adapts to input. AI decide what to say based on context. These are intelligent and flexible. So they are good for content generation, decision making, personalization. So let's think like so when to use what kind of workflows, right? When to use AI workflows? When you need understanding, like analyze sentiment, extract information. When you need generation, like write emails, create summaries. When you need decisions, take a route based on context, prioritize something. And when not to use AI, simple data transfers, fixed process that never change, where actually the speed is critical. AI makes the things a little bit slower, right? Where consistency is more important than intelligence. For example, we use code node for generating emails because we wanted a fixed format. Okay, so I hope you now understand n8n, the concepts, the node types, how to build simple automation and how to add AI. Next video, we are going deeper into AI agents, where the AI doesn't just follow the workflow, it decides which tools to use and act autonomously. I hope you have learned something from this video. If yes, subscribe to this channel. And if you need support in the business optimization and automation, please click on the link in the description and book a call with us. We help businesses transform their operations, save their valuable time and money using ClickUp, n8n automation, AI tools, and proven systems and habit frameworks. Stay tuned for the next set of videos, and until then, stay productive.